What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a very interesting day for me. It is actually pretty late here for the Daily Juice podcast. Normally, we post this thing, around 1 a.m. Eastern time, 10 p.m. Pacific time. But I had a chance to go and check out Resort World today. So I had a chance to go check out the new book down there. I had to go check out the entire property tonight because the wife and kid come back on Monday. So I had to go I had to go out and have a little bit of a fun night tonight. So if you're used to listening to this and you're like, Matt, where's the podcast? My God, here's why, okay? Because I was out. I was down on the Strip. Resort World is gorgeous on the inside. It looks very much like Wynn and Encore and the Palazzo. It's very similar to kind of Millionaire's Row or Millionaire's Corner, as they call it. But I wasn't overly surprised by it, but I thought it was going to be a little bigger than it actually is. But it's very new. It's very nice. And if you're coming to Vegas, it's definitely something to go check out. There's some cool features in there, some cool things that are unique, artwork and whatnot that's pretty unique inside that property. So that was fun to get in there and check that out. And I had a chance to talk to some of the bookmakers down there, a couple of the guys that run the book. Say hi to them and whatnot. So that was fun. Okay, so let's recap last night. By the way, this podcast is being brought to you by BetMGM on YouTube. Above me, $20 to win $100 in any event. Use that promo code JUICE100 at BetMGM.com or on the BetMGM application you can use. I got 2 baseball bets for you and 1 NFL futures to give you guys coming up here today on a Sunday, kind of a lighter day. So UFC was worked backwards. UFC wasn't great. Strickland just would not go for the finish. I have no idea what was going on in that fight. It was extremely frustrating. Uriah Hall was out like 4 times in that fight. He did not want to continue. And Strickland, every time he was in real trouble, he tried to choke him out, which I couldn't figure out why. It was incredibly frustrating to watch that fight. That was a 3/4 of a unit loss, which really stunk. That killed the whole night because we were 1-1-1 heading into the UFC. And I told you last night in the podcast, there was just something about it. I was going to bet the over. I should have bet the over 3.5, and I didn't. That was stupid. That was a bad. I'm mad at myself because I saw it and I was like, this guy doesn't have finishing power. And I thought that Uriah Hall might clip him, but then I thought, well, Hall hadn't submitted anybody in so long. I thought Strickland would stand there and bang. That's what he did, but he gassed out. And so since he couldn't get Hall out of there in the 4th and the 5th round, he couldn't throw. He threw more punches. He won the fight easily on the cards, but I didn't think it was going to go to the cards, and it did, unfortunately. So that was a loss there, and then a loss on the flyer quarter unit on Strickland by knockout at plus 200. So both those fights were wrong. Team USA played horrifically in the first quarter and then played unbelievably in quarters 2, 3, and 4 and just destroyed and won easily over the Czech Republic and covered the 23.5 point line. Got that right, but we got the first half wrong. Got a push with the Red Sox and the Rays, so we're still able to bet this without having to worry about losing in terms of losing the ability to do this thing we're doing, which is basically every day I'm betting a Red Sox game, not on the Red Sox, but betting on the game for the Red Sox. And then we ended up losing. I'm forgetting the last bet that we lost. There was one I bet we lost, but 1-1-1, and then overall 1-3 in one day. So our 3-day winning streak is over. So let's start a new one here on a Sunday. By the way, we will have the drawing for the autographed Magic Johnson jersey. That will happen at some point in the very near future, today, tomorrow. Whoever wins it, be looking in your email, and we'll send you an email, and you will win it. And if you win it, then go ahead, we'll mail it to you. And you can, if you ever win, by the way, with us, take pictures and send it either me or tag me or whatever, and we'll publicize it on social media. We'll push it out there, and you guys can have a lot of fun with it. So that, hopefully, if you do win that Magic Johnson jersey, you will show me and hang it and post it, whatever you got to do, frame it, and then you can go ahead and show it off that you got it from us here on the Daily Juice podcast. Okay, so let's start with the NFL future, and then I'll get to a couple of bets today for baseball, one being with the Red Sox. So I am a real big, I guess you call it a hater, the kids would call it a hater, of Zach Taylor, the head coach of and maybe I'm biased here, of the Bengals. I shouldn't hate him as much as I do, and part of it is I covered him at Nebraska. And at no point did I think this dude, I wasn't much older than him at Nebraska. I mean, I was in my, I think I was mid-20s, like 25, 26, and he was like 20. I'm 44, he's 38. Him being a head coach in the NFL is ridiculous. Okay, it is absolutely ridiculous. But, and there's a big but here, he has a quarterback in Joe Burrow that I think anybody can win with, and I think because him being a former quarterback, I think this offense now with the drafting of Jamar Chase, who I think is the best overall offensive player in the draft, the best wide receiver in the draft. This guy, people are sleeping on how good this dude is. He was unguardable in college at LSU. He sat out last year due to COVID, didn't want to play, and now the Bengals have him and Joe Burrow together, and my goodness. This bet is correlated with the under bet on the Steelers. Under 8.5 is a bet that we already made, all right? Cincinnati Bengals, 6.5 wins is the total. Over is even money on the Bengals. Let's just go through their schedule here just a little bit. And, well, first, let's look at the depth chart, okay? This entire bet hinges on Joe Burrow, okay? The entire wager, he has to be healthy the entire year. 17 games, he's got to play 17 games. Period. No questions asked. But Mixon and Perine, they got a couple of decent running backs. Tyler Boyd and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, this is going to be a hell of a tandem, all right? These three dudes, I really, and I mean really, like their wide receivers. Offensive line's okay. They've got to, and they brought in Riley Reif, they've got to protect Joe Burrow. He cannot get hit, and he cannot get hurt. The defense is not that great, okay? That's one of their big problems. It's going to be a problem this season for them, but they're trying to improve, trying to get better, but they're going to be an offensive-minded football team. They're not going to, win games 12-10. The schedule is hard. I'll be the first one to tell you the schedule is not going to be easy. Let's quickly go through it. They start at home against Minnesota, a game they should win, but it's going to be tough. At Chicago, they should win that game, but I think they go at Chicago and at Pittsburgh. They're going to go 1-1 there, okay? Win one of those games and lose one of those games. Not really sure which one, but I think they go 1-1 there. Let's just say they lose to Minnesota. They open up 1-2. Jacksonville at home is a must win for the Bengals. Must win, okay? That's 2-2. Green Bay is a loss. At Detroit has to be a win. That's 3. At Baltimore is a loss. At New York has to be a win. There's 4. Home for Cleveland, that's probably going to be a loss. So they hit the bye in week 10. I love where their bye is. Love it. Then they're on the road at Vegas, a game they could win. That's a winnable football game, but I think they do beat the Steelers at home. That's 5 wins, all right? The Chargers at home is a game they should win, okay? We're going to put that in the maybe category, but they should win that. San Francisco is probably a loss. At Denver, win. Tough place to play. Got to win that game against a bad Denver team. Got to win that game. There's 5, or there's 6 rather. Baltimore, Kansas City, Cleveland. Extremely hard games to go, right? Really, really tough games. We need an upset. One upset against either Green Bay, Chicago, the second Pittsburgh game, San Francisco, Baltimore, KC, Cleveland. They need to upset one of those teams to get to 7 wins. I'm going to bet it. I think the Bengals could be really good. I don't think Chad Johnson's guarantee of them winning the North, I don't think we're going there here, okay? But I do think they win 7 games. Going 7-10, if Burrow stays healthy, is very, very possible. And it's even money for them as well. I just like Joe Burrow. I hate Zach Taylor. I think he should not be a head coach. But I'm going to hold my nose and bet it anyway because I think the Steelers could be bad. I think you get 2 wins against Pittsburgh. That might not be crazy to get 2 wins. They could open up 3-0. It's not impossible that they open up 3-0. Beat Minnesota, beat Chicago, beat Pittsburgh. They're 3-0. They beat Jacksonville. They're 4-0. Not insane for the Bengals to open up 4. And if it's 3-1, We're getting there. Okay, if they open up 3-1, we're getting 7 wins. 1 unit. Bengals over 6.5 wins here. So what we've got going to refresh here, Saints over 9.5, Raiders over 6.5, Steelers under 8.5, and now we're adding the Bengals over 6.5 for even money for 1 unit for the NFL. I don't know if I'll have any more futures to bet. That's kind of like my limit here. I may have a division bet or maybe a Super Bowl bet, but win totals, I like doing win totals a lot. It's a lot of fun. So those are 4 bets we got rolling here in the NFL here for full unit. So we've already got quite a bit of coin already committed here to the NFL futures market, which I'm okay with because I love betting win totals for the NFL. So those are 4 bets for you. Okay, let's get to 2 bets in baseball. Let's start with the Red Sox here up against the Rays. Red Sox have lost the last 2 games. It's not been pretty, okay? It's been pretty rough for the Red Sox, to be quite honest, against the Rays. And this is a really, really important game for the Red Sox. And I think it's an opportunity here for Boston to, as a dog, kind of steal one here a little bit. And look, the Rays are the better team. Okay, you want to talk about who the better teams are? The Rays are just a better team than the Red Sox. I picked them to win the division. I still think they win the division. Red Sox most likely are going to be a wild card team, which is better than anybody thought they were going to be going into the year. Chris Sale comes back. I don't think the race is over, but there's a lot of pressure here, and people in Boston are starting to wring their hands. This is a Sunday night baseball game, okay? And you've got Shane McClanahan against Nick Pivetta. This is a major game for Nick Pivetta. I mean, a major game for Nick Pivetta to start. He really needs to be good today for the Red Sox, and the Red Sox need to score as well. But, you know, I think when you look at the way Boston has played on the road in particular, they've been so good on the road that they were due for some regression here. The Rays are just a really good team at home, on the road. But Nick Pivetta has been a better pitcher on the road than he has been at home. 3.21 ERA on the road, 5.8 at home. Okay, I'm gonna take the Red Sox on plus money line for the game. All right, plus 125 Red Sox money line against the Rays because I can't see them getting swept by Tampa. They could. It would be a huge blow for them to walk into Tampa and lose all 3 games. I thought about taking money line here, but I think Boston may need to get after the bullpen a little bit, and you know I think the bats need to come to life. Maybe they need them in the later part of the game. I'm going Boston money line to win against the Rays at plus 125 here for a half a unit. And the other half a unit is the Astros and the Giants first 5 total, which is 4.5. Juice to the over at minus 115. Luis Garcia is going for the Houston Astros. Luis Garcia's ERA on the road, these are splits that I look at a lot. On the road, Luis Garcia, 4.54 ERA on the road, 2.24 at home. He's much better at home than he is on the road, 4.54. I think this is a chance for the Giants to get after it. They won 8-6. A lot of runs have been getting scored here in this series for both teams. Both teams have been scoring a lot here in this series. And I think there's a chance for the Astros bats to stay healthy, to stay hot like they've been. And I think there's a chance here also for the Giants bats to get after a pitcher in Luis Garcia, who clearly is not comfortable pitching on the road. And you got Logan Webb, who's going for the Giants, he's been okay. Right-handed pitcher, 3.36 ERA, giving up 1 run in his last start, 6 innings, 5 innings, 2 earned runs in his last start. He's actually been pretty good over the last 3 starts. But against this Astros team, we just need him to score 2. 3 runs for the Giants. First 5 over 4.5 at minus 115 is the second bet for a half a unit between the Astros and the Giants. Let's get offense early here on a Sunday for the Giants and the Astros. Over 4.5 is the number we're going to play here First 5 for Giants and the Astros. Okay, so bet 1, Bengals over 6.5 runs for the season for the 6.5 wins. For the season. Bengals over 6.5 at even money. We're going Red Sox money line at plus 125, and we're going over 4.5 runs for the Astros and the Giants at minus 115. Those are our 3 bets for us here on a Sunday. My name's Matt Perrault. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsDocMatt. Every morning, it's the Daily Juice podcast right here on BettingPros.com, brought to you by BetMGM.